This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved. Yeah, she can see you now. She can see you now.
Hello, pretty boy.
She said, greetings to the most fantastic GM in the world and the other people he has to play with. No, she didn't. She said, greetings, GM and adventurers. I just thought I would elaborate on the other. Hello, everyone. Welcome on a very momentous day. If you just heard the news, etc. When was it declared that he had actually won?
Mr. Pickles texted me or messaged me like this morning at like 9. I woke up at 10. So
what? How long ago was 9?
You're 8 hours ahead of us, so that was 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So fantastic. Yeah. So maybe a lot to change in the future. You know, maybe even D&D 5th edition will get taken off and Mythras will come back as strong as ever.
Mythras 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, so hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of Mythras, a fantasy role-playing game set on the continent of Odes. Mythras is, as I said, a role-playing game. It's based on the percentile system, so a D100. There's no races, classes, just skills and really solid role playing to get you through. Combat is lethal, as is burning caravans, but we will come back to that in a while before we go any further. So I can check the sounds as well. I would like, I'm going to give the players an opportunity to say who they are and which doomed and which character they will be playing tonight. And we start off as ever with Mr. Pickles. Go for it, Pickles.
I am Mr. Pickles, and I play Bartleby Fumus. He has the skill set that makes him function as our team's theist, though he's not necessarily the only theist, since we have others who sometimes join us. He serves the light moon goddess Amriel, through which he's able to perform miracles like healing people, reducing fatigue, removing poisons and disease from people. He has abilities to shield himself from attacks and protect others from being hurt. He spends a lot of time in his home city of Odes, he spends a lot of time in Lindo helping the impoverished people, and so he has a lot of streetwise skills, a lot of healing skills, practical things to help the people. Besides that, he also knows a lot about history, a lot about monsters, and he functions as that kind of asset to the team here. And with that, I'm going to toss the mic on over to Longshank's EPG.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pickles. Hi guys, I'm Longshank CPG, and tonight I'll be playing the character Hengist. He is a noble warrior from across the sea, out a way, a long way from Odes and Lindo. However, he's been here for a few years now and he's finally firmly got his feet on square ground. He's part of one of the noble houses of Lindo, House Galot, which looks after the people, provides arms and armor for the local town guard for Lindo, and is more sort of like into the industry and that sort of thing. They also look out for the little people, which very much aligns with Hengist's point of view, where he's very selfless. He likes to protect the weak and the innocent, which quite often the time turns out to be Bartleby, but that's just by the by. But he is very keen to look after anyone who needs protecting, whether they've got money or not, doesn't matter. He fights in heavy armor with a 1.5-handed sword, which he uses two-handed. He does carry his shield around, but he hasn't used it in a very long time. But he carries around just in case anyone throws an archer in every so often, because you never know. Or something that fires volcano fire at him, because that has happened. So looking up for the tricksy GM there. And I will pass it on to Medivac, because he's not paying attention.
Was I was pretending not to pay attention, so you pass it on to me. Ha! Hey everybody, I'm Medivac and I play Hasra Khan. He is from the northern steppes of Odess. He is a scout, a tracker. He knows a lot about the outside. He knows nature. He knows how things affect areas. He's joined the Brotherhood, which again is a secretive group that tracks what happens around the world. And
Joe Biden.
Surprise cameo, everybody.
I know. You don't see something happening right now. So yes, they track and maintain balance and make sure nothing gets the upper hand in areas, and just keep an eye on what's going on in the world. He uses a short spear, which he normally carries and uses like a staff when he's walking. In his sash, he has a scimitar. He's very good with both items. He does like to throw his short spear, but the one he's got at the moment isn't his normal one, because when he creates a short spear, he has to put a bit of his blood in the metal, and that's a bit of himself in that spear, which then bonds with him in his own mind, of course. Yes, he does like being in the city. He wears quilted armor, so he's not very. He's quite squishy. But yeah, that's Hasra really. And with that, I shall pass on to Mr. Cyrus, because he's playing with his headphones.
Everybody, hey, I'm Captain Kangaroo. I am playing. Hold on, where am I? I'm right here. This is where I'm at. I'm playing Cyrus tonight. Cyrus is the sorcerer of the group. He is the fiery badass who, once you actually get to know him, you realize he's just a child. But he's known for, he has very fiery temperament, and has also used fire for his weapon, because that's what a metaphor is. Yeah, see, you got it, Mr. Pickles, you got it. See, it was the whole time. So I'm just really excited today. So my mind's somewhere here and there. A lot of big things happen today. Don't know what it is. We'll find that later. But we'll see what happens today, because I think we just left off at a very interesting cliffhanger, and see if Cyrus is able to do anything with that, because he definitely caused it. From there, I'm going to pass the mic to our GM in Wills.
Thank you very much. Bunny Box says, greetings to Mrs. Medivac. And we all say hello to your dog Medivac, which we wish you would get some slippers, because it's having some dreadful problems with your wooden floor.
Slippers up in her socks.
I just imagine it sort of like a...
It's pretty much what you said.
Oh, and Bunny Box also says, greetings to the woman in Kangaroo's background. Oh, we didn't realise that. I didn't see the woman in Kangaroo's background.
Escaped!
I did see the little pooch in Cat's arms just a moment ago.
Oh.
The woman's my sister, so no.
Is Peter with you?
Peter's outside because my sister has a new dog.
Right.
And
poor
Peter. He's kind of a butt, so we put him outside because he likes to murder rabbits outside.
Good grief! What a fun country you live in. Okay then, let me give you.
Lost small mammals here.
Yes. Let me give you a quick synopsis of what happened last adventure. So it wasn't last week because we did spooky infliction stream last week. That wasn't as scary as what I thought, but Darth did a really good jump scare on me when he used the scream sound, which I swear I nearly wet myself when that happened. So you can see that on my YouTube channel if you go along and have a look. Anyway, so it's been 2 weeks, and oh, what a lot happened 2 weeks ago before we arrived at this place and this time in the adventure. So the first thing that happened was that Cyrus had a rather interesting, how can one put it, interaction with one of the party's previous employers, a potion maker and an alchemist called Annalyn. And there was some kind of fracas, some disturbance, and eventually Annalyn left. And I think Basil Earless from the Hairy Hobgoblin sort of like came over and was very sort of like humble in his words and saying things like, oh no, please don't cause that sort of issue in my Hairy Hobgoblin. And after that happened, the party were approached by 2 strange individuals. And right the way through the exchange for the job contract and up to this point, they have come across extremely wooden, extremely matter of fact, and almost like lacking any emotion or empathy at all. They have hired the party to transport them from Lindo back to their place of residence, trade, etc. They come in a cart with 2 people and a stack load of goods on the back, and the party arranged to meet them at the north gate out of Lindo. However, when they got there, I forgot his name, Bartleby had to burst into action because a rather injured soul was brought into the city. A lad who had severe rake marks, claw-like rake marks down his back. Luckily, Bartleby managed to suture the wounds, stop the bleeding, and he was taken away to be looked after, even though Bartleby had to stop a medicine woman covering the wounds with some kind of slime that Bartleby wasn't too happy about. Some hedge wizard or healer not doing their job very well. The party then left out of the north gate with Brutus, which is Hasra's ox, and Hasra's carriage or wagon, and they headed along the road. And in the second day, they saw at a far distance buzzards circling high, or vultures circling high in the sky. Cyrus and Hasra left the group behind and proceeded towards the camp to see what was happening. They found a wrecked caravan site, and in the wrecked caravan site there was a number of hyenas that seemed to have a very pack-like nature. Luckily for us, Cyrus was carrying some flasks of oil with him, and he lobbed them onto a nearby wagon, and then used a magical cantrip to ignite the oil on the wagon. This really did scare off the hyenas, who made a quick escape off to the west of the caravan, and everything seemed to be absolutely fine. Until, as we finished the last adventure, Cyrus and Hasra heard the screams of a young girl, and they suddenly realised that within the wagon that Cyrus had just set on fire to get rid of the hyenas, it sounded as if there was somebody hiding in there, and maybe remove that verb of hiding and replace it with burning. And that's where we left it last week. The only other thing that has to be mentioned is that Hasra and Cyrus, quite a while back, saw a group of mercenaries leave Lindo. They had obviously been going around trying to collect items for some kind of march or some kind of quest, and they were aware of these leaving some days before Hasra and the rest of the party went off to deal with the sea devils. And that's where we are going to pick it up tonight. The part, we're moving straight over to the infamous campsite. So just so everybody is aware who's watching, the scale is not quite correct here. Hasra and Cyrus are a little bit off the map. The rest of the caravan people, the two employers, and Hengist and Bartleby are even further back. And this is the caravan, which is now on fire and is nicely ablaze, being fueled by the oil that was deposited by Cyrus. And I'm just putting this on to indicate the fire, so hopefully people can say this. Bunnybot says greetings to Mrs. Sister as well. Yeah, her, yeah. Her in the background. Okay then, so let's jump straight into it. So from the back to the front, Hengist and Bartleby, you are aware that everything has happened. You can see the wagon is on fire, and it's almost like got that bilious smoke that indicates that it's not actually wood that's burning. The two merchants who are with you let sort of like exchange glances with each other, and one of them says to the other, "Oh my," like this at that point when they see the caravan go up in the flames. So you can see that, but you can also see that closer to the wagon is Cyrus and Hasra. And yeah, we're coming straight to you guys to say what you would like to do at this moment in time. Whoever would like to go first, it's over to you.
All right.
I just wanted to confirm really quick. In the back, did we hear the sounds of the girl from the caravan? Okay.
Well,
so
hang on. I tell you what. If Hengist wants to do this as well, you can do. You can roll a perception check, but it will be at formidable. Mainly because there's hyenas coming around everywhere, or Hengist fails. So no, you're not aware of anything. That's a shame, because Hengist actually made a standard, which is quite remarkable.
Never makes perception rolls.
If anybody would like to re-roll, you can use a point of luck to do that. Remember, your luck points are refreshed, but magic points are not at this point. So Hengist, Bartleby, are you?
I'm gonna let it stand.
Okay then, cool.
Blissfully unaware.
It's tempting, but no.
No. Okay then. So so Hasra and Cyrus, over to you.
Right.
Can I just say, Cyrus, that you're quite impressed with this fire? I often sort of like think of Cyrus as a bit of a pyromaniac, and dousing something with oil and then set it on fire. I mean, it's burning a lot better than what wood would do.
Imagine you chucked a body on there.
Yeah.
As soon as he hears the child cry, he's gone. He's running towards that wagon.
I thought you meant Golly was running back to get. It's nothing to do with me.
Just turns around and starts whistling.
I'm not going to be sued.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, then. So Hasra is heading towards the wagon.
I will try to, because I think I need a line of sight for this, but I don't know entirely for sure. But I'm going to try to see if I can see the person screaming like maybe get to a position where I can see the person screaming, and then I'm going to cast damage resist on that person.
Okay, then. So damage resist is a sorcerer's spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you need to decide what your rating, etc., is going to be. Because remember, your sorcery spells take amount of time. So it takes 1 turn to start off with. So say, for example, you want to... Normally your sorcerer's spell is touch, which this is not going to be, well, unless you want to get in the wagon, you know.
No.
So whatever your power is, times by what it can be the minimum range that you can do for 1 point, which means that puts it up to 2 turns. You also then have a choice to increase the magnitude of the spell as well. Currently it's 1, but if you would like to increase it to 2 or higher, then that's absolutely fine, but that would cost you more. You've got plenty of shaping points because you've got 7 to shape it. You could also, of course, combine 2 spells together if you so wish, but it would extend the actual spell casting. So let's say that are you both planning on running towards the wagon? Let's do it a bit at a time and then see what happens. Is that going to be the plan first?
Yeah.
Okay then. And Cyrus, you're going to head towards the wagon until you can see the girl. Is that the plan, or just to keep up with Cyrus? Sorry, with Hasra.
Until I see the girl. I do have a question though. If I do end up seeing the girl and there's like say the wagon is kind of like the old frontier wagons where the front and the back end are open, they're just kind of draped over. If the back end is over, I was wondering if instead of doing damage resist, if I can do shove.
Yeah. Okay then. So you're coming. Yes. Sorry. Go for it, Hasra.
I'd like to use a free action as well to shout out as loud as I can. Bartleby, wounded. Yeah.
Bartleby does make a perception check. Yeah, you hear Hasra shout something. He seems to be quite agitated and pointing to the burning fire and the wagon. Just roll your insight for me.
Does it need a calm prayer or?
Yeah, he's obviously very concerned and very. He might have said wounded. He might have said woman. He might have said wandering, but he looks quite agitated and pointing to the wagon, and you can see him and Cyrus moving towards it. So I've drawn a little arrow on Cyrus and Hasra, so you're coming sort of like straight onto the cover at the moment. So you can, if you wish, Cyrus, circumvent it and start coming down from the from this direction. That will allow you to see into the wagon more so. Or you can keep going straight on with Hasra. What's going to be your plan? It's no point probably coming down to this way because it will be even. You wouldn't be able to see it.
I wouldn't. Okay. So no matter what, I'm probably going to have to run over this side then.
Okay then. So yeah. So you notice that as I can't get, this is really annoying. I can't get rid of that little. There you go. So, let's move this back. So as you start to run, Hasra and Cyrus, you notice that Cyrus breaks off to a different direction and starts coming round, almost like to come at the wagon the other side. You head towards, and by the time we get onto the map, here. So by the time you get to these positions, so you're actually close enough to see. I don't want to delete Hasra. There you go. Bartleby, yeah, many have tried and many have succeeded. Bartleby, are you heading off or staying where you are?
I am heading off, but before I do, I want to say, Hengist, I think Hasra might have been offended by the sorcery over there. I'm gonna go make sure he's not killing Cyrus. Keep an eye out. And I'm saying that as I'm pulling myself off the cart. And,
Yeah. Cool.
Walking over at a brisk pace.
Yeah. So Cyrus and Hasra, you get closer to the wagon now, and the wagon is definitely in full burning phase. You can see from where you are, Cyrus. Just roll a perception roll. I'm going to tell you what you can see, but it's just whether or not you can see some fine detail that might be available. And Hasra, you can roll one as well if you wish, because you can probably see this as well. Hasra can't.
You know what? I'm going to take the chance because I feel like this is going to be maybe important for my karma. See what's going inside there. I'm gonna use our luck to reverse that.
Okay, cool. What about Hasra? What?
You don't have to ask.
No, I've come from a blind side, so
Okay.
I'm expecting that this canvas is going to be covering what I was hoping to see. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, the actual canvas part now has burnt away,
Right.
and Cyrus, you can see from the top that there's actually some kind of wooden crates in here. They don't look that sturdy at all. They look very slatted rather than solid. And it looks like there's something in it that might be kindling or some kind of fine material, maybe wool or something like that. But you can see that coming from the back, these crates are on fire. Whatever's in the crates was extremely flammable or inflammable, depending how you want to say, but both are the same. So they are on fire. You can't see anything. It looks like the crates are packed in. And Hasra, as you come across, you can see that the wagon top has sort of like burnt away. And you can see that there's crates inside, but you can't see, neither of you can see the content of what you assume now to be a very young child who just seems to be constantly having this high piercing scream of, it's no longer panic, it's definitely pain. It's definitely pain. Now, Cyrus, if you wish, you can shove the crates. They're available to shove. Hasra, I'm not too sure. If you let me know what you want to do, I can tell you.
I want to try to pinpoint, if possible, where the screams are coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to just take a split second and just try to get the direction.
Yeah.
And try to use that to find out where she is or where she generally is.
Nice one. Yeah. And what about you, Cyrus? What would you like to do?
So I don't know which crate she's probably in. Just to verify.
The crates don't look big enough for a child to be in. You probably imagine that the crates were piled into the wagon, and maybe she was inside a gap caused by the crates, if that makes sense, as if she's hiding. The crates are nowhere big enough for her, but you can definitely say, I mean, there's quite a heat off this now. You know, I mean, it's not quietly burning. Yeah, what would you like to do, Cyrus?
I will shove the crates to open the distance between, not open distance, but open the pathway between me and her.
Okay, so you're pushing the crates forward then.
Yeah, to get away from her, between me and her, to the other side, and then worst case scenario, Hasra runs in there, but most likely I'm probably gonna roll or try to go for damage resistance. Okay
then, so you're going to cast shove. Hasra, what's going to be your plan?
Once I've got a rough idea of where she is, I'm going to be charging in there, and I'm going to be just hopefully pushing these crates out the way if they don't look heavy, and just trying to get in there, and to hell with getting her. I just want to get in there.
Okay. And as this is about to happen, Bartleby, just to let you know that you are now close enough to hear the screams of a young girl in significant pain. Oh, everybody's excited that Peter's now on camera. sorry, Mr. Pickles. Mulberry's out of the scene now.
I'm not really shy.
Obviously, Peter has got what it takes to be a webcam scene.
He does the weirdness where he wants me to hold him on my shoulder, but all right.
It's only because he's got a good view over you.
Does he want you to go yar?
Yeah.
I'm a pirate.
Okay then. So as you, first of all, Cyrus, can you make your folk magic roll for me, please? Which is what your shove spell is.
I did, and it came out a failure.
Oh, right. So I probably imagine that you sort of like get close, try to push it, but then the sheer heat of the burning wagon that's fueled by oil and whatever's in it almost like makes you shy away at the last moment, and it interrupts your spell. Hasra, you're a little bit closer now. Just roll your perception because you didn't get it last time. So let's see what you pick out now. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see, you can actually see what appears to be a burning person. She's actually situated sort of like here. So imagine that the back of the wagon is piled up with crate. And then this would have been the front, and she's sort of like down behind it, or was. I mean, the screams are quite awful now, and you're unless you do.
Like say, as soon as I'm in there, I'm pushing crates out the way. I'm going to try and grab her, and down. I've got my armor. I'm going to rely on the fact that it's quilt and won't burn.
Okay then.
Burn proof. Fire retardant. I've got this little.
So you're just banking on the fact that it's not made out of a flammable material. Yeah. Okay.
I know what the paint. I've got my blackened arm. I'll use that.
Yeah. Okay then. So obviously and Cyrus, just so you know, this is what I used last time for you as well. There's something known as a fire intensity table in Mythras. So it gives an intensity of the fire. It gives a rough example, and then it says the time to ignite. Okay, then. So that's almost like the time that it takes to actually set on fire. So normally I would have said that it was sort of like campfire if you were just setting fire to the wagon, but because of the oil, I set it at an intensity of 4, which is a room filling with fire. That's essentially what it is. And it takes 1d2 turns to actually ignite. And of course, this was really good in your sense because I got a 1. And so it went woof, and at the time. So the damage of that is actually 2d6s, which as you go towards it, Hasra, and start getting your arms in there, then you start to take damage from that. So the damage roll happens as follows. So as you go in, then every turn that you're in there doing anything, so remember something like to remove a box will be 1 turn. To remove the nether box will be 1 turn. Then there'll be a random hit location because you're in there, and then there'll be a dice roll for 2d6s for damage. So that will be stopped by your armor. So if I got 2 1s, sorry, and got 2. I think your quilted armor is it 2?
Right,
yeah, that would actually stop it. So
okay. I mean, I've got no intention of gently picking up boxes and putting them to one side. I'm going to be charging through here.
Yeah. Okay then. So
you know,
at,
because these boxes aren't that sturdy by the looks of them. And
No.
the primary thing is getting her and getting out.
Yeah.
So I want to be basically running through here, and then taking her out here.
okay.
No intention of going back. In a
Yeah,
sense.
so this is full of boxes, so you'll just have to plow your way through
Yeah,
that.
through.
Will actually cause you more fire damage as you come through. So let me
Maybe
know.
you should just come this way then.
Well, if you want to go round and in that way, then by all means take that time to come round there. That's fine.
I'll go through. Time's the essence. I need to be. Instinct. I'm going straight through.
So the first lot of fire damage is coming to your 4.
Did I tell you I jumped the pool over here?
And that onto your 4, you're going to have 8 points of damage on your 4.
Which is my left leg. 8 points takes it down to 0.
Right.
So you would like me to endure?
I certainly would.
Yes, and I'm like, no.
No.
Go through.
So
Pushing through.
I presume now that you have a serious wound there, yeah?
It's back on 0.
Yeah, so that's a serious wound at that point. So normally, I would normally if it was in combat, you can only parry. You can't actually carry on or attack or cast spells anymore. But I'm going to say that because you're riled up, you're going to try to push through that again. So you're now into you push out a whole load of the boxes, and as you go in there, you can feel the burning down your, which leg was it?
My left leg.
Your left leg, as you feel as you kick a box out the way, it almost like explodes and shatters fire and bits of oil as well that is still there down your left leg. Cyrus, you cast your spell to try to shove a box out the way to try to get clear that passage for Hasra, but as you try to shove it, Hasra goes in and the flames all like that, and you back off and break your spell casting. So Hasra, I'm presuming that you're powering in again on your next turn. Cyrus.
His leg's on fire. He's climbing up. He's like, nah, and he's gonna go in there and just push forward.
Nice. You're trying to get a famed warrior passion, aren't you? I know. Who has the protect the weak? I'm sure somebody had that.
I have selfish protector.
Oh right. So so what we'll do then, on your next endurance roll, you can augment it with selfless protector. As you go in. Okay, Cyrus, is there anything that you would like to do? You can shove Hasra if you want further into the fire.
Look some more at me. It's wet. It'll protect me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do outside of just essentially cast for 2 turns to make them more durable and survive this. Is there anything I can do if I go up there, like to move something out of the way so that way he can just charge right out with her?
I mean, you can go up and start to try to move boxes. You will incur the same fire damage as before, or you can get a little bit closer and start to. I mean, and I think I'm right at this. It looks like Hasra is moving forward. He doesn't look like he's planning on coming back this way at all. You can sort of like see him, and he's sort of like clearing boxes out the way, pushing his way through the fire, and you can smell the singeing of quilted armor and a bit of burning flesh as well as he's coming. So what would you like to do?
All right, so I'm just gonna try to do my best and cast damage resist on Hasra.
Okay, then. So you'll definitely need 1 point for the range. But apart from that, that should be fine. So you got 2 turns. So this would be the first turn. And then at the end of the next turn, you can then cast the spell. So Hasra, you now plow your way into the next lot. Just give me, are you wading through with your spear or without your spear?
No, I would have dropped my spear before I went.
Okay then, so just give me an unarmed
I should have said that, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it's only I just needed to know whether or not to do weapon skill or unarmed combat. So just roll.
No, it's because I wouldn't be able to move boxes with a spear.
Yeah, so just roll. Well, I tell you what, let's not roll unarmed combat. Let's roll your brawn, because that's almost like we're not actually doing combat. You're just trying to whack, but you can augment it with your selfless protector.
So there's no augment somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. If you click on your token, it should pop
that's right.
up. Yeah.
Augment, and my skill level is 49.
Oh, that's nice.
No, it's because I'm very selfless. No.
Yeah.
So that's 10%. So,
So increase your brawn by 10% and then roll it.
banging up temp.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to use a point of luck here because I'm so impassioned and I'm riled up.
Yeah.
I want to get through here.
So you sort of like knock one of the crates out the way, and what you suddenly realised was that there was another crate on top of it, and at the last moment you just managed to either move forward or move back to prevent it sort of like crashing down on you as you move your way a little bit further, and I can tell you what you're going to see in a minute. So this actually, the fire actually damages you on your 19.
Oh, that's okay. That's my head.
That's your head.
That's fine.
And it damages you for 9 points of damage in your head.
That's not very good. That's going to put me down to, what's that, 8 minus 1.
Minus 1. So you've now actually, you still got a serious wound. Unless you've only got 1 hit point there, which I don't think you will.
No. I had 0 on my first hit.
Yeah, so what you need to do now, you need to roll your endurance again.
Yeah.
Okay, and don't forget you can augment it with your selfless protector.
Yeah. There we go. That's a formidable.
Yeah, so you make the roll, which is lucky, because if you had failed, you would have passed unconscious in the wagon, and then nobody would have been able to get there in time. But you now you're burned and sort of like on
this box
fire.
has almost fallen on my head.
Yeah.
It's like caught my.
But
I'm like, oh.
But you can, as you sort of like dive through or move through, and the box grazes your head, you can see this, what remains of a body. You can
What
hear.
do you mean what remains of it? Is she still screaming?
No, but you can see that she's still got a face at this point.
I'll take the face.
Yeah, you pick up the head, and the rest of the body just sort of like is like charcoal. It's just like, yeah, you pick it up, and the rest of the body just sort of like crumbles. You know, crap. So you grab this,
Yes.
grab this, and you grab whatever you can, and you make a leap out of the wagon at the far side. So you can either roll athletics or acrobatics, whichever one.
Athletics. And could I augment that as well?
Yes, you can.
My daring do. Oh, again, I'm going to use my point of luck to reverse that. I've got this child now. She's in my hands. I'm feeling. I'm feeling triumphant that I've picked her up and my head's swimming.
Yeah, and you sort of like you dive out and you roll with her, and Bartleby, you are close enough. Cyrus, you can just cancel your spell unless you want to still cast it, and you won't lose any magic points at this point. So
I'll still cast it just in case like something on him is burning or something.
Yeah, okay then, brilliant. So roll your invocation.
Come on, baby. Where are you? There you go.
I just looked up and saw 93 and I thought, what? Who is his invocation? Like, Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so the damage resistant comes off. And that actually protects you. I'm going to say that protects you from anything that's on fire. What's your intensity? Is it 7? I think.
Yeah. 7 points.
So you actually receive 7 points of armor onto your locations, Hasra, which is quite good now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't you spend the day walking back and forth?
Yeah, you actually go back into
Go grab all the crates while you're at it.
Drop my keys.
You sort of like okay then, so that it's not something that you're likely to resist, Hasra, because you wouldn't know it's coming, but you sort of like get it. And Bartleby, you're there now. Let me bring on your token.
Very surprised, given Bartleby's hypothesis about what was going on.
Yeah, and Hengist, you're still back at the base. Oh, Bartleby, why do you come on so big?
Big personality.
Hey.
My charisma's a 12.
Wow.
Because it's the biggest Bartleby, the best Bartleby we've ever had.
Okay, and you come up, Bartleby, and you can see Hasra. It looks like he's injured as well. He's got a nasty, what appears to be burns on his face and one of his legs, and he's cradling what appears to be a young girl. When I say young, probably 12, 10, 11, 12, that sort of like age group, and she is unmoving at all and very limp in Hasra's arms. You do notice, Bartleby, you don't need to make a roll for this. You do look down and you notice that the majority of her body has what appears to be serious burns on it. You also notice that they were looked like the back of her hands are really burnt, as if she was almost like protecting her face, and her face luckily is very pale but not scarred at all. What would you Hasra, you're just holding the child.
Hasra, if Hasra sees Bartleby come up, he'll be like, save the child. Save the child, save the world.
Bartleby would definitely move to investigate and see what he can do, if anything, to save this child.
Okay then.
As his first action, I guess.
Yeah, so you, what would you like to do first? Would you like to make a healing roll to see what you can do, or would you just like to cast a spell?
Healing is the best bet.
Okay then, so roll your heal.
Is she alive? I would like to use a point of luck to move that over to not embarrassing.
Not about. I was just trying to find out. It's not because you had a critical, didn't you, Cyrus? So normally with a folk magic spell, the critical would be free of charge of magic points. However, with the invocation with sorcery, a critical is half what you would have normally used. So how many points would you have used for it? How many magic points? 2, wouldn't you? Is he there?
He's muted.
He's muted. you would have used 1 to cast it and 1 for the range. So that would have been 2 points, but because you got a critical roll, you just lose 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Bartleby, are you looking it?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So you look down and you sort of like, really and truly, her body is. I mean, you can actually see when some of the clothes have actually singed onto her, been fused onto her body. You reach down to see if there's a pulse. There is, to start off with, you think there isn't, but there is a slow, very prolonged, gapped level pulse. Her breathing is very shallow. She's extremely pale. You figure that she's heavily in shock, if anything else. But due to Hasra's heroics, and which really sort of like damaged him as well, she's definitely alive, but you don't know for how long. I'm actually going to award you, Hasra. You can increase your selfless warrior by 5% for your heroic deeds there. As you burnt through, yeah.
67.
Yeah. So Hasra is sort of like smoking as well. Yeah, Bartleby, what would you like to do?
Would it be fair to assume that she's basically got a major
Sorry.
wound on every body location?
I'm just reading the chat, and Benny Buck says, maybe Cyrus needs a new mantra. With great power comes great responsibility. Oh, poor Cyrus. Well, sorry, Mr. Pickles, what did you say? I
Would
missed
it be
it.
fair to assume she has a major wound on every body location?
Apart from her head, which was the only thing, and if it wasn't for Hasra's heroics, that would be it. Luckily, her face is not scarred at the moment.
You would have this guilty choice of what to save.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I'm technically just still an initiate priest, so I can only heal 4 locations. I can't even heal all of her.
You can heal 4 locations, then another 4 locations, can't you?
Didn't you get a new spell?
That was lay to rest.
I can only stabilize 4 locations, I should
Yeah.
say, because my best healing wouldn't affect major wounds except for stabilizing.
Correct.
But isn't that what my healing kit would do if I used the healing skill to...
So your healing kit skill, it actually it heals minor wounds 1d3. It heals serious wounds 1d3, and it allows major wounds to begin to heal as normal, which generally means that it's going to take weeks for a healing, for that wound to heal up. So technically, just looking at, so minor wounds heal naturally in days. Serious wounds heal naturally in weeks. Major wounds heal naturally in months. So you have what's your healing rate? Not your skill, the rate of healing for your character.
I've got a 2 because my constitution's a little low.
Yeah, so hers is probably roughly the same as you, maybe even less. So it would take literally a minimum of, say, 2 or 3 months of care to actually bring her together back via the healing skill. So you will prevent her getting worse, but whether or not she's gone too far, you don't know.
And how would that be different from stabilizing a major wound?
Yeah, so if you stabilize it, no healing's taking place. It's just not getting any worse. So I mean, it's a bit strange because things like first aid and heal from the folk magic actually stabilizes, but a healing skill actually allows to heal normally. And the reason it's done like that is to mirror that it might not be a magic rich world, so people can use healing skills. And I mean, it's interesting that first aid is bandages. That's what first aid is. So your healing skill is almost like natural care. You know, so it's not a thing that you pop a potion into her now and then you leave her. You know, it requires a period of time.
Well, that does help. I just wanted to get an idea of how Bartleby would, what he would practically know of his abilities in this world.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to use my folk magic heal spell, because that stabilizes serious and major wounds but doesn't heal them.
Yeah.
Much like my cure wound miracle wouldn't do anything. I'm just gonna pop it in there. So I guess I'm gonna use that and burn through my magic points to individually heal each location that needs stabilizing.
Okay. So you roll the first one, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with. I would assume chest would be the most obvious place to start, to make sure that the organs are working.
Yeah.
So here is. Oh, I didn't mean to do that again. Actually, I have enough luck points. I'm gonna my luck points there.
Can I just? I'm just going to. We've only started, and we're sort of like half an hour in, and everybody's Hengist is going to have the most amount of luck points by this.
Well, the thing is, Mr. Pickles is like, I'll just turn this D6 over to 5.
Yeah, he's actually got 3 D6s out. Yeah, so you burn a point of luck. You think her chest is probably the least of the rest of them damaged. Actually, when you start using magic on her, you think her limbs are. You don't think they'll even heal back. They're so burnt. You can see now, as she lie down and you sort of like stabilize her chest, that her arms and her legs are so charred and blackened. You know, you can actually see bits of bone in some cases. You really are not sure. This girl needs serious medical help, as does Hasra at the moment, who is still sort of like smoking.
Yeah, well, Hasra, to be fair, is down on his knees. And
oh no, actually you got damage resistant on. You're sort of like, I'm fine.
No, but apart from the bits that are crispy.
Yes, apart from the crispy bit.
Yeah, so I'm down on sort of like one knee, and I'm like just cradling my head, and Mr. Pickles probably thinks I'm like crying, but I'm like going, oh shit.
Yeah. You're really not sure, Bartleby. I mean, as you stated earlier, you are but an initiate in this, and this is a real reminder about how far you actually are away of achieving that intimate, relationship with Amriel. And this is such a. You just thought that you were doing so well and Amriel loved you, etc. And now you suddenly realize the gap between your capabilities and saving a girl's life is almost like the biggest chasm that you've ever seen. And if anything, it's almost like a reminder to you that, gaining these higher level spells would be something that would have helped you at this point.
I've been trying to prove my worth to the church. It's the church that needs to.
Yeah.
Well, they'll promote me when I'm ready. I say to myself, I guess, as I'm wondering if this is getting close to the time to prepare the laid arrest rites.
Yeah, and I can imagine Hasra sort of like looks at you. What would Hasra say to Bartleby at this point? Nothing at all. I was just like,
I'm muted. Make her glow. Use your beautiful lady's strength to heal this girl. She has been through so much trauma. Ow.
Lady strength. Yeah.
It's my goddess's strength. It took me a moment
Yes,
to
Cyrus.
figure out what Hasra's
Use your
talking
lady's
about.
strength.
Hengist is appearing on scene now, so like looks at
Yeah.
Cyrus and says, "What's going on?"
I was going to say.
He's up for a barbie.
you made a big campfire. I don't think we'll need all that. It's just-
bit too far.
Yeah.
No. So if Hengist managed to see the girl being taken out the back of the flaming wagon from his distance, he would have got the people, the twins, the weird twins. He'll have asked one of them to get on Hasra's wagon, and he would have got both wagons going towards the group and parking up.
Okay, then. So Hengist and the wagons arrive. And you sort of like congregate. You can see Cyrus that the wagon has slowly ceased to be on fire. It looks like the majority of the crates inside have burnt away, and the oil was an excellent accelerant to everything. It looks like there was, from where you are, as the fire starts to subside, it almost looks like they were transporting natural material, and then that's it. And it doesn't look good at all. The other thing is that this is actually Bartleby and Hasra. This is the furthest you've actually been into this setting, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hasra and Cyrus came close, and the hyena was up on here.
That's right.
And you sort of like look at the girl, both of you, then you sort of like quickly, both of you cast your eye around, and you're suddenly aware of further carnage within this area. For example, I'll just crudely mark them on. Sort of like here, Bartleby and Hasra, you can see what appears to be a set of legs just from the calf down, so you can sort of like see the boots sticking out. The person that it belongs to is obviously lying down because the feet are pointing upwards. You can also see a body inside this cart. It seems to be the top half. It looks as if there was maybe some kind of barricade, and then the car and that person was fighting or shooting or something over the barricade, but then it's being tipped over, and the person is now sort of like slumped over those boxes and face down, and you can sort of like see from the from the sort of like the abdomen upwards. You can also see over here, I'll just put a cross, that there seems to be quite a smearing of blood on the grass. And Hasra, you suddenly become aware of that iron smell of blood that you're so used to, with being out and about, and it suddenly floods your senses, and it seems you always recognize it because it's totally alien from the natural smells that emanate around in the wilderness. And you suddenly become aware, both of you, and it's almost like you see something, then move to something else, then move to something else, that it doesn't take either of you to realize that there's definitely been some kind of attack or battle in this area. Hengist and Hasra, you're here now. I'll move, unless you don't want to. I'll move you down, so you come around here, Cyrus, and as you come round here and come into the camp, you also can see here somebody who is slumped face down on the rock, as if they maybe were trying to climb it and tripped and fell and face down. And you do notice that in its right hand, but not actually holding it anymore, there appears to be a spear or something just lying on the rock, as if they had it in their hand, they put it to sort of like clamber up, and then something happened. You also, Cyrus, can see just here that there's quite a blood smear on the actual grass. And Hengist, you can see anything that I've pointed out to the group as well. I'm going to take the firing wagon. I'm going to take the fire off, but just remember that that's all burnt. Yeah, there.
Just axles left.
Yeah, and there are some crates. So if anybody would like to investigate to see what was actually in the crates, then that's fine.
I'm literally going to just crawl over or stumble over this rock here and just sit down, and you'll see Hasra's face through his burnt, because his armor and his face now is burnt away.
Yeah.
And he'll have this a little bit of melancholy look on his face that he's just not. He's seen something like this before in his past, but he doesn't really want to go there. And as shock.
Yeah, and that's what I was. And as your adrenaline slowly subsides, the shock comes in and the pain, and you just sort of like slump away. And Hengist sort of like walks past and say, "You right, Hasra?"
You're right.
Just sort of like,
Hasra does that impression of that first guy who landed on the sun. Oh shit!
Yeah. So the wagons are with you as well, but the people. So one of them's driving one of the merchants is driving yours, Hasra, and the other one's driving their own, and they sort of like pull it up alongside, and they don't seem to be coming into the camp at all. Yeah, what would you all like to do?
Cyrus, not used to failing, to be the savior. He's gonna walk to the body.
One, the one slumped on this one here.
No, the girl.
I'll go. Yeah.
And walk to the girl, kind of look at her. He's gonna tap Bartleby on the shoulder and point towards Hasra to remind him that Hasra needs healing for what he was able to do, and trying to save the little girl.
I guess I just want to confirm before I acted. Has Bartleby likely lost faith that he can heal this girl?
As Cyrus arrives and sort of like gestures to Hasra, who's obviously injured, you've probably got the young girl cradled on your lap, or keeping hold of her, trying to administer what magic you can to heal her. And it's while you're doing that the girl lets out a sudden gasp of breath as she sort of like goes,
"You, Hasra, you saved my life and my family. But what about my twin sister?"
But
you just all of a sudden hear a scream back at the that burnt down.
She sort of like sucks in this one final gasp of air, Bartleby, and she goes, and that's it. It never seems to come out, and she slowly relaxes in your arms as you slowly lower her down to the ground. Your new spell is probably a suitable time to lay this poor girl to rest now.
That is the intention, and so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a lay to rest, and I'm going to give my goddess.
Yes.
Says yes.
And your goddess definitely does say yes. What happens to your spell if it's a crit?
I was just wondering that. Let me...
She gets back up and walks around.
Yeah. No magic points. Critical success. The miracle occurs, yet there is no magic points. No magic point cost. So obviously this is maybe in the grand scheme of things, Bartleby, the girl was never meant to survive from here. Maybe it was just fate that this happened, but you slowly lie her down. You do that thing when you slowly pass your hands over her eyes to close them, and you notice that even though her face was, or body might be twisted in pain, all of a sudden this relaxed and almost ethereal mood passes over her. And you probably find something nearby to gently, a piece of cloth that's not on fire. You gently lay the cloth over her and mutter your words to Amriel. You notice that the two merchants on the wagon both take their hats off and sort of hold them, and as you say the final prayer to lay her to rest. Whether or not you leave her out here with hyenas around, that would be up to you. But please tell me if you do, because I just fancy making a hyena arrive with a child's leg bone in its mouth.
No, my intention is to then help Hasra heal his wounds so that he's not bleeding out on us here from whatnot, and then to go formally bury her.
Okay then, so just roll. So you'll have to heal him, won't you?
Yeah, two locations.
So what are you?
But what about the girl, Bartleby? Is she saved? Did Amriel save the girl?
No. It appears to be her time to leave this world, and I've made sure that she won't come back.
But why didn't the goddess save me many a time?
That's the purpose of lay to rest animals.
When you said that she'll never come back, I just have visions of her. You're talking about her soul, I'm assuming, rather than anything else.
I don't want her coming.
Yeah, so
fire spirit, and that'd be awful.
Roll your exalt skill.
Here's for the first and the second.
Yeah, both of them. So, Hasra, you gain all your points back in those locations. But I'm going to, sorry about this, but I'm going to rule that the armor in that location is no longer there.
Totally gone. Yes,
yeah. So until you get back and to buy some more, I think the fire would have quite easily destroyed those. They did its job, because it stopped it coming through to your skin, which could have been...
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that, which is why I'm going to Dunelm to buy some more quotes.
Yeah, you buy a nice nice curtain. Yeah, so Hengist, let's come to you, because that's all happening there. Is there anything that you would like to do?
Hengist wants to try and make sense of this massacred campsite. So he wants to try and see if he can work out what did it, whether it was a creature that they have kind of had hints about on the road with the claw marks, or if it was humans, or something like that. So he's looking for in the wagons, he's looking for sword or axe or spear cuts in them, or and the same with the bodies, or if it's more sort of like animal sort of scratches, claw marks. Those are the two differences he's looking for. Yeah. In the wagons and the bodies.
So, in the wagon to the south, the one that's overturned here with the body in, it's slumped forward, and you go close to it. It looks like this person did have a weapon that is now on the ground some distance away, and you can't sort of he's face down, slumped over, and you sort of like slowly, try to lift his head in the gentlest way that you possibly can, and it seems to come up quite easily. There seems to be very little resistance in it, and it is then that you notice that his throat is no longer there. It looks as if it's literally been ripped out. It hasn't been sliced or anything like that. All down the side of the neck, it's all jagged. And you've probably seen these sort of like things on your war campaigns when you've actually met animals that are terrorizing. And this person definitely has had his throat ripped out. This person that you could see the legs of, that's because there's no other part of him there. The only things that are actually left there are his legs, and again these have been ripped off, and what you figure is it's probably been torn in two or something like that from the mark. It hasn't been sliced. It literally looks like perforated marks has separated it out. You notice that this blood stain here, this is massive. Even as you get close to it, there's that squelching noise of wet grass and wet mud. And you quickly, just roll your strategy. I think you have...
so I've got strategy and tactics.
Yeah, just roll that.
19 on a standard.
So this, you think that from this blood splatter, this has probably happened, say, last night. It's definitely still wet and squelchy here. You notice that now that you get a little bit closer to this wagon, you can see that it seems to be full of planks of wood, and it seems to be all nicely laid out. There seems to be quite a lot of blood on it, but the actual content of the wagon on both of this one and the other one is untouched. Okay. It doesn't look like it's been pillaged or robbed or anything. This person here that Cyrus saw slumped over the rock, you see that as you sort of like turn the corner, he's or she or he, you're not too sure, has very deep claw marks down the back, very similar to the person that you saw at Lindo in the morning that Bartleby helped to heal. And as you come round here, and there's another large blood soggy area on the grass. But what's more disturbing is that just here, there's the only thing that remains of this body is the head, and it's face up, eyes wide, almost in a silent scream. And luckily, I mean, you're used to things like this. You and Cyrus are used to this carnage on this scale, but you quite can know straight away there's no blade or weapon that would use these sort of marks. It is definitely an animal or lots of animals or something like that. It's definitely not been an attack by blades or weapons.
Hold on a second. I'm talking. Okay. Do his claw marks look like that of, I probably wouldn't know entirely, but that of the hyenas? Or
no, and
does it look like something else? Like the hyenas were here as scavengers and not attackers.
Exactly, and you sort of like go around and look at the bodies as well, Cyrus, and use your, you're not perturbed by them. You used to seeing them, but yeah, it's definitely, I mean, hyenas, like you say, are scavengers. They would probably gnaw the odd bone or something, but they would never kill these. These claw marks are about the size of what you saw in Lindo. So you figure they're quite substantial.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
I shout out to the rest. I'm assuming Bartleby is still healing Hasra. We need to leave soon before the hyenas come back. In greater numbers. No. Should we take care of the bodies, throw them in the pile, and burn them?
I just want to see. I missed Bartleby's face there. I was a little bit too slow to look at the camera. But the wagon's still alight, Cyrus. I mean, they're embers. You could probably get it going again if you wish.
Well, it would be quicker.
It'd be quicker. We don't have to bury them. And honestly, if we bury them, hyenas would probably just dig right back up anyways. Let's get rid of their food source now.
Check the body on the barbie.
You don't like cooked meat.
How would you like your meat?
Charred.
Do what you're going to do, Cyrus, but this girl will be buried, as per the rites of my church.
It's fine with me, man. It's fine with me. We'll grab the body pieces and kind of throw them into a pile to light up. Hengist, do you want to help me? And Hasra, if you're feeling up to it.
Hengist will be. He sees the benefit of cleaning the stuff as much as they can, and obviously, it means that. And then he'll say to Bartleby, before we light these poor souls, would you be able to say something over them to ease their passing?
Indeed, I would be happy to do so.
Thank you, Bartleby.
And was I do have a question? Is this the direction? Because I don't know the geography of this area. Is this the direction in which what's his face from the other town? They have like the other town offers lumber for.
Airwood, yeah.
Yeah. Is this the way to that direction?
Yeah, most definitely. And remember, you were going down a certain way, and the people on the cart said that you followed it, and then you turn off to go to their accommodation or their place. But I think it was you, Hasra, that had already picked up from the day before that their knowledge was either extremely inaccurate, or they had no idea where they were going or something, because I think you actually mentioned to them last time, shouldn't we be turning off? And they just said, oh no, a different...
No,
yeah. And just as you're sort of like discussing this, and you're piling bodies up.
Hasra's still sat there against that rock, and you can see his soot face. He's got tears coming down it, and he's just looked at this little girl. Oh. So he's not helping whatsoever. He's just sat there and wallowing.
Yeah, and
failure.
Yeah,
to save.
And you did well. You did well, and it's when you're sort of like busy doing something, and you hear something coming from the caravans, the wagons behind you, and suddenly round the corner appears in travelling clothes, and says Zach, and he sort of like looks around and says, what's going on here? And you're all very surprised to see him there, and you suddenly look back at the wagon, and the wagon that the merchants were driving. You notice that the tarpaulin or the cloth over the back has been pushed back, and you can see that there were some crates at the back, but there was almost like a hiding place for somebody to sit on in the back of the wagon. And you notice that Zach is there, and he's looking around, and he sort of like sees the wagons, and the other two merchants come behind Zach, as if they were almost like bodyguards or some kind of protectors. And Zach sort of like looks around at the carnage and sees you administering last rites to the young girl. And just as you're about to cover her face over with a cloth before you go and dig a grave, Zach sees her and he looks at her, and you notice that his face drains of colour. And he looks at her and just says, "Molly?" And we'll leave it there to have the break. So, yeah, we're going to have a quick 10-minute break now. So please go away, stretch your legs, have a biscuit or whatever you're going to have, and then come back for the second half when we see what actually happens at the caravan and where the party are going to do what they're going to do next, and how they interact with Zach. So yeah, so we'll take a quick break, and we will see you in 10 minutes. So it'll be exactly 20 to the hour. Okay, we'll see you all soon. Be right back. Chink. and do this. Hello, everyone. We are back with various tea, coffees, pizzas, jacket potatoes, whatever. Everybody. What is that? What?
No branding, Moneyback. No branding. Getting demonetized.
What is it? Is it
Tonic water.
tonic? Oh, well done.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah, welcome back, everyone. We got to a very interesting point at the end of the session before break, in the sense that the party have discovered a rather ransacked carnage on the road. It seems to be some kind of beast or beasts have attacked the caravan, and their bodies or bits of their bodies are scattered throughout. Although that is probably a shock, probably the major shock is that an old friend of the parties, Zach, who actually came to Lindo for a trade agreement. Zach Nald, his name is, if you're interested. And he has disappeared. And to the party, it seems as if he's been travelling in the back of the wagon. And as he comes around the corner, he stopped and looked at the poor dead girl now. And just almost like was going to say, you know, what's going on here? What's going on there? And then looks at the child's face just as Bartleby covers it up with some kind of cloth or burial shroud. And Zach says, Molly? Like that. And that's how we left it. Hasra is healed up. Hengist, you're probably coming round here now as you see everything's happening. And then Zach says Molly. And as he says this, and you'll be able to take actions now in a second. As he says Molly, he pauses for a while and then seems to break into a sprint towards Molly, who we'll now call her Molly, and starts to run. So Cyrus and Hasra, you're sort of like in the way before he gets to Molly. You'll probably be on the far side of Molly, Bartleby, laying her to rest. So if Cyrus and Hasra would like to do anything, so just imagine that he's... you don't need to do anything. Don't feel that you need to do anything. He's obviously coming straight down that way.
Hasra will force himself up, and he'll look at Zach and say, we tried our best, but sadly Molly, the spark of life has now left her.
I'm gonna get in the way to keep him away from
yeah. So he sort of like runs.
You see the sadness in Hasra's
face. And probably he runs up, and then Cyrus, you sort of like put an arm out or something to stop him as he runs into it. And then Hasra, you give your speech, and Cyrus, you feel him pushing onto your arm as if to get past you, and Bartleby, you slowly lay the cloth over her face.
Hasra will say, you do not want to see her like this. Remember
Cyrus
how you did before. Who was she to you?
Did Cyrus want to do something?
Cyrus wants to try to embrace him, to kind of like, calm him down and try to help him with his empathy and all that.
Bartleby was thinking, drat, I have that calm spell that I could use now. Yeah, so you sort of like, just roll me your influence roll, both Cyrus and Hasra, both roll it for me.
Nothing. Oh, jeez.
Hasra might. No, what's happening with your rolls tonight?
No, Hasra's so distraught.
It's either or. It's either extreme or not.
Yeah, exactly. It's either critical or fail. Well, although no fumbles. But now that I've mentioned that,
we'll see.
Yeah, Cyrus, just make a brawn roll. It will be very easy to stop him pushing forward.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right,
and
good.
you get that, and he sort of like pushes towards him, and he hears your words, Hasra, and says, "She's my sister."
Well, she's in a better place now. We did our last rites for her.
He says, "A better place than being in my arms."
Well, maybe we don't know.
Cyrus suddenly feels that he's in a position that he really was not trained for.
I don't know, maybe. This is what I've been told to say. I don't know what that means. We tried our best. That's all I can tell you. Honestly, the rest of the caravan suffered the same issue, the same fate. We're slowly trying to figure out what happened here, but we do not know.
And
I feel like this caravan, I'm assuming is yours, has been attacked by something we haven't seen yet.
he failed his willpower roll, and he sort of like succumbs to sobbing, and he reaches out to you, Cyrus, because you're the nearest person, and sort of like almost like forces himself into some kind of embrace or reassuring, and you can hear the sobs and the watery tears seeping into your red robes.
Not on the robes.
as he obviously, and you can feel him sort of like sobbing as he sort of like crudely try to decide what to do, and he sort of like says, "Please tell me that the rest of my family survived."
Were they in this caravan?
And he says, he looks up at you and says, "Yes."
I look around me.
Looking at the pile of bodies behind
that are now on fire,
Yeah.
burning away. Oh dear, this has been the best adventure ever.
I'm so glad Hengist is still making his way back.
Yes.
What about my pet dog?
Yeah.
Where were you, and why weren't you with the caravan?
Well, I had come to Lindo with Neville to arrange the transport and to ensure that there would be enough wood, but the caravan was to set off, and hopefully we would be able to make the deal. And then the merchants that said that I had to go back, and then they said that nobody would protect me, so they made these two guards here. And when they say merchant guards, it suddenly comes to your attention how wooden and maybe lacking in knowledge they actually were, and maybe they were actually just saying the first thing that came into their head. We were just meant to, they were just meant to take me back to Airwood.
When he says merchants, I'm gonna look up and glare at the merchants.
Yeah, these are guards of the merchants, so they sort of like glare back. It's just...
I am sorry for your loss.
It's all like
I got here too late.
one of them holds up a finger like this and goes.
Oh no!
I hope he likes charred finger.
It's fine, he's just keeping up into guild relations.
I look at, I kind of hold him away from me for a bit. I look at him and said, "We were too late. I am sorry for your loss. But
It's so
staying here too
unfortunate.
long will put us all in danger if we
What?
do not move forward.
What happened here?
We do not know. It looks like from everything a beast attack.
A beast
we're-
attack. And did
Yes.
it set fire to the wagon? That looks like it's still smouldering.
You know, accidents happen. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to roll my insight, which is actually 37.
1,000.
Yeah, which is actually 10 million, and it's augmented by my
By the passion of my sister.
his insight's 37. Just so you know when I roll this, because you can see my roll. Yeah, he's sort of like
Wait.
I feel a
Can I
luck.
use one of my luck points to switch to change that?
Well, you could get me to roll it again.
Yeah, I'll use my luck point to get you to roll that again.
Okay, so 37 is his skill. Oh, and he sort of like looks at you, and he sort of like tilts his head at one point, and then sort of like says, "So it was on fire already."
I don't know. I'm not a. I don't see the future or the past. I'm just a
My
regular
poor
sorcerer guy.
sister virtually burnt alive.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, bro. Well, that's I didn't say bro, but sucks, bro.
He sort of like relaxes and sort of like
First world problems.
comes
Yeah.
sort of like comes over and sort of like slumps down with and sort of like shares your boulder, Hasra, and sort of like slowly. So, Bunny Box was meant to put in the chat, "Poor Mr. Pickles," but it came out as "Poo Mr. Pickles." I don't know if it's an order or what. And then she corrected.
Who you, Pickles?
Nice one, Bunny Box. I love that. Yeah, and he sort of like slumps down, and he sort of like looks at you, Hasra, and you sort of like burnt.
I tried to save her, but it was, I think, too late.
Really? You tried to save her, and you got damaged yourself.
It was the least I could do to save the girl. I ran through the burning wagon to save her, and yes, I took a few to wood, but that is of no consequence. It was to get her, but I was too slow. I must make myself faster.
He sort of like puts a hand on your shoulder in what appears to be a quite grown-up gesture, and gently lays his hand on your shoulder and says, "You did the best you could, Hasra. You did the best you could. Thank you for risking your life to save my poor Molly. If only we had got here earlier. If only we had caught the fiery burning wagon in time."
I know.
If only. If only.
Yeah, Cyrus is just sort of like saying, "Yeah, if only, if only." Yes, that's what happened. I thank you, Hasra.
Anyways,
I don't need your thanks. I would do it for anybody, any child.
But I am now.
I just wish I was faster.
No, don't do yourself down. You did the best you could, and I am grateful for that.
Mr. Bartleby, he laid her to rest in a beautiful way.
And he sort of like looks over and the blanket or the piece of cloth and looks up at you, Bartleby, and says, "I only wish that you were strong enough in your faith, Mr. Bartleby, to bring her back. I hear that Theist of Amriel can achieve that, but I understand that you are not there yet."
yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I go back to Hengist and help him.
I imagine Cyrus sort of like with his foot out of the ground, this moving it back.
Whistling quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whistle
Good to
while
see
she,
you here.
yeah, it'd be like, "Oh, whistle while she burnt."
Oh dear.
Yeah, and you walk over to Hengist, and Hengist sort of like relates to you, Cyrus, what he has found out. And Zach turns to both Bartleby and Hasra and sort of looks at you and say, "But what will become of me now? Will you still agree to escort me back to Airwood?"
We will do it anyway because we honor our agreement, and now it means more because your sister died in such a tragic way that we will support you in what you endeavor, and you must become a man and grow from this.
Did my mother and father get away then?
I don't know. We were too busy trying to rescue your sister to see anything else.
Did you find them in any of the wagons? And
I've not moved from here. You speak to Hengist. I've been too broken down in my sorrow for your sister.
You rest, Hengist. You rest. And
Hasra.
Hasra, yeah, and turns to.
This is the one you need to speak to.
Yeah, and turns to you, Bartleby, and says, "Thank you, Bartleby, for doing the best you could." And moves over to Hengist and say, "Hengist, I was told that you inspected the rest of the caravan. Did you find my mother and father and my pet ferret called Horace? He's about this big and quite a lively ferret."
I didn't see a ferret, but then I wasn't looking for a ferret.
I like to think that the first thing you talk about is the
ferret could be alive, so he's leading with a glimmer of hope.
You don't know, but ferrets taste really good for hyenas.
He sort of quickly looks around as you, Hasra, and says, "You can track. Maybe you can find the tracks of Horace." And then he whirls back to you, Hengist, and says, "And my mother and father?"
Did this belong to your father?
I'm sorry to say, no one else seems to have survived.
He quivers for a while, and his bottom lip moves, and then he suddenly wraps his arms around Cyrus again, and being familiar with the comforting posture that he had beforehand, and
contours of his body.
Yeah, and sort of like embraces you and lays his head on his chest and on your chest, and there's a renewal of the sobbing and the snot coming down his nose and slime onto your red.
Can I interrupt here? Because I feel for Cyrus here, and I'd like to
Calm!
a little. Well, yes, a little sneaky, since he's doubted the abilities of Amriel here. Maybe
No, he didn't. He didn't doubt the abilities of Amriel.
Well, I'm going to take it that way, even though I know literally.
So yes, he's within 89 meters of you, so that's absolutely fine. Well, you
have a resist.
What's his resist?
Willpower.
Willpower, which is 37. And gets a 51, and his sobbing slowly subside, Cyrus, and then he sort of like moves his face around, away from your robes, and looks up to you and says, "Thank you, Cyrus. I'm sure you did something mighty in this situation." And as he sort of like pulls his head away from your robes, that bit of snot that sort of like gets stretched a bit and then pings onto you, and he says, "I know you probably did your best," and looks at you, takes a step backwards and sort of like looks at you all and says, "You are all great friends. I only wish that we had never left each other's company back at Lindo. If we had come earlier and set back straight away, maybe none of this would have happened. But I thank, and as he says this, he looks and makes eye contact with every single one of you, that you did the best for my family and for Horace and my sister, and for that I will ever be grateful for your actions. And he does a little head bow and a sniff.
Hasra will step forward and he'll ask that.
Ah, the mighty Hasra.
We were told that you were in the oh my god, brain fart. Sorry.
In the brain fart.
In Count Bastian's palace, talking about the trade agreement, and that is why we left without you.
No, I after the incident on the docks, and I went straight to the merchants, and then we were discussing business when a merchant came in rather frustrated and angry about something that had happened. I'm not too sure what, but they said that that our business had to be taken care of in a different place. So I never got to see the Count, although I seriously would like to have done. But they told me not to say anything, and we continued our talk. We went upstairs and across a small walkway to another room, and we were there, and we conducted our business and established the trade agreement. And I was so pleased because I knew my family was coming, and we were going to have a new life in Lindo as being the ambassadors for Airwood. But my life is full of fraught and sorrow. First, my business partner, my mentor, my colleague, my friend Neville was brutally killed before my eyes, and now my sister and my parents, and maybe even my ferret.
Yeah, that all sucks. But
this is really strange because the merchants told us when we came to find you that you were with Count Bastian. Why would they say this if you were across in the walkway room?
I asked them the same question, Mr. Hasra. I asked them, where are my colleagues, my guard from the pier? But somebody said that you had rebelled against them, and that there was no way to have you near me, and promised me protection from these two guards. And he points to the two guards in the wagon, who are off the wagon now and look like they might have been smoking a crafty bit of tobacco or something. And then he's sort of...
When Hasra hears that, he's going to nod towards Hengist and hope that Hengist gets the message.
And he sort of, my guard's here. And the guards are like, yeah, we're the guards.
So tell me, guards, why you are tasked with what? With bringing this young man out here, then killing him, or?
No, we're not going to kill him. We had strict orders to take him back to Airwood, or to meet his caravan and then proceed to Airwood, or if his caravan had the goods on, to escort it back to Airwood. But the merchants knew that they would only talk, his family would only talk to Zach, and so we were to keep him hidden in the wagons because, well, the merchants said that you were not too pleased with either the merchants themselves
because they lied to us,
or
right?
Zach. And the guards just sort of like hold their hand up and sort of like say, mate, we just follow orders. And Zach turns to you, Cyrus, and says, they lied to you?
Yes, they said you were with Count Bastian and that you were not being hidden from us. So this entire time, what they're trying to do is mold your thinking to benefit themselves, which I called out.
I am
days ago.
I am somewhat confused. We have signed a trade agreement which will bring prosperity not only to me, but
Do you
also to Airwood.
Do you have a copy of this agreement on you?
He says yes, and he heads back to the wagon.
But Zach, wait. Perhaps maybe Hengist can go with you, with Mr. Bartleby, to read it. And
Can Hengist read?
Bartleby can read though, can't he?
Bartleby can, yeah. It's written in
No.
It's written in pictures. It's like,
Just a
Hengist
picture.
can read
It's a
pictographs.
picture of the merchants with like sacks of money,
yeah.
and,
With big
and
smiles on
Zach.
their
And the
faces.
picture is Zach just crying.
So
The merchant goes, 4 more trees.
yeah. He's sort of like Zach.
What's going on? While I say that for them to go off, if they do go off, I would like to go back to the back of the wagon and retrieve my spear.
Yes. And Bartleby, you go back to the wagon with Zach, and Zach produces what appears to be some kind of small coffer. It looks like it's actually either pewter or some kind of metal. There's a key, a padlock on the front, and Zach produces a key from beneath his tunic on a chain, and he opens the little coffer, and as it opens you can see that there's some coinage in there, some silver pieces, but also what appears to be a rolled up document. And Zach picks it out and gives it to you, and you sort of like open it. Just roll your commerce skill for me, please.
Can do.
Oh, yeah. This is a really, really generous trade agreement.
Generous to who?
For Zach. So you sort of like read it once and then you read it again, and I mean this trade, you're knowledgeable in commerce, and you've never seen a contract that benefits one side as much as this. It's almost as if Zach has actually created and debated and traded so well that he's actually come out on top of this. And you can see that by this agreement, Zach, don't say this loud enough for Cyrus to hear, because Zach's going to be Zach and his family, or just Zach now, is going to be quite rich. And you're quite surprised at the actual state of what the merchants are giving. And because you got 42 out of 43, you can tell that it's totally legit, it's totally real, and you suddenly realize that maybe the merchants really need to maybe rebuild a business that might be failing, and this trade agreement with wood would definitely allow them to employ shipwrights and use their wood in a good way, at reduced price from other people. And you actually think with your commerce that it's probably because the Merchant Guild didn't want Airwood to trade with anyone else that Zach has really got this perfect and very legitimate and very prosperous trade agreement. And you're looking at it, and Zach looks at you and smiles and says, I really tried to do my best. My master Neville taught me a lot.
It's very clear that he has taught you quite well. I'll like put my hand on his shoulder in a congratulatory way, just pat him on the shoulder, and you've made your family. You will make your family quite proud with this kind of agreement.
If they were here and alive, I am sure they would be proud.
Alas, I think you'll put forth a good message, a good symbol for your family's name going forward with this kind of trade.
Will you escort me back to Airwood to start making arrangements for the trade route to open?
As a follower of Amriel, it would be irresponsible of me to let you wander these woods alone. So we will protect you and escort you to Airwood.
Thank you, Bartleby. You too are a fine man. Just like...
How far are we from Airwood?
Probably. You're not actually completely sure, but you've heard that it's about a week, 2 weeks ride away. The people like Bartleby... Hasra, were you in Library of the Mystics adventure?
No, I wasn't, sorry.
So
Yeah.
Hengist and Bartleby, you were in the Library of the Mystics, so you know that it's about a week's down to this point, to that where you turned off, and then Airwood will be another week's ride after that.
Well, we're already making progress in that direction anyway, so...
Might as well. You're
Cool.
right there, Cyrus. You looked a little bit worried for a moment when you heard 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks away from my next bottle.
Oh, that's right then.
Of oil?
Well, if you think it's a week, it's 2 weeks there, and potentially 2 weeks back.
Yeah, but I can buy a lot of bottles when I'm there for the 2 weeks.
Does Airwood have lots of liqueur?
Well,
Why would they not?
it's the sort of place that Airwood is like maybe a prospering
Maybe lumber
village. Yeah, it's not actually, but it does have a tavern, and well, it's actually like a tavern / inn. So a bit like the Hairy Hobgoblin, it has one large room down below, then bedrooms up the top, and a lot of the people who actually work in Airwood have almost like homes in the village, but then go to other places up the mountains or into the forest to cut down trees for lumber. But they actually stay out there for a period of time and then bring it all back on wagons and then do a period of time up in the actual Airwood itself, and then back they go, etc. It's common practice.
It's like the old gold miners, isn't it? Disappear to the mountain for a few weeks and come back with your lumber.
Exactly.
Gold.
So, obviously, we're getting to the point that maybe do you wish to saddle up? And
I would like to. Hasra would like to just pull the group aside and maybe have a little. Just maybe on night, so night times come perhaps, and we have it around the fire,
yeah,
and we just want to have a little chit chat and say, just to see where we're all at.
yeah.
And you'll see, I'm a little bit concerned about. From what you, I'm assuming that if we laid the conversation with Zach.
Yeah, Bartleby would share with everybody, and he'd be brief probably if Cyrus is around, because he doesn't want to too mean about it. Just that Zach got a great deal. It's very equitable for him. It's going to make him quite rich.
So what we'll say, just to I'm going to say that Zach is probably emotionally drained at the moment, and as you sit around the fire, he very soon apologizes and says that he has to get some rest. It's been a traumatic day, and he sort of like goes off to his wagon. Hasra, you've sort of like found this nice place that looks like a nice place to camp. The wagons are on the side of the road where Zach is now, and then you created this fire almost like in the middle of these two sets of stones, so the wind doesn't blow it so much. And yeah, the guards are sat together over on the wagon, which just leaves all four of you together round the fire, which now Hasra gives you that opportunity to chat. It's now dark, by the way, as well. Yeah, sorry.
I was just mulling over what you said about Zach and this deal, and how strange it was that these. Do you remember a few days ago me telling you about these mercenaries that bribed the guards and left the town, and they came this direction, as far as I know. It just seems very strange that they would go this way, and then this tragedy befalls Zach's family after such a lucrative deal. It's almost like somebody's trying to stop this deal from going through, in a sense. Now, I know Cyrus does not like these merchants, but if what Mr. Bartleby says is true, then these lying people who said that Zach was with somebody else maybe they were so desperate to try to drill this deal through that they lied to us to get us out the way. Perhaps, I don't know, but there seems to be. I need your input in the sense that there seems to be maybe somebody trying to kill Zach and his family, or the people of Aylesford, to stop them from doing this.
Hasra has the right idea. I think what's really happening is the merchants made a bogus deal, because what they really want to do is have on the way here murder Zach and then take all his stuff. That's probably easily what I imagine is really happening.
But then if they murdered Zach, what about the deal? There would be no deal with Aylesford. Aylesford would then need to send another merchant or negotiator, whatever you call them, to Lindo to make another deal. So what would benefit the merchants? I know, Cyrus, I know what you're saying about the merchants. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw a spear at them. But it's, there's a certain point where you have to say, this doesn't all look right.
I do feel like more is going to be revealed soon as we move along. I don't think this attack was random. Let's deal with the twins. Let's help them.
Yeah, don't you find them very Hengist? What do you make of these strange two people that are with us? Don't they seem like? Do you know when you go to one of your parties and you have people pretending to do stories on that stage thing you have? Don't they seem a bit like that? A bit sort of like they're pretending.
Well,
no, it's me. I'm not.
They seem to be normal guardsmen with.
No, not the guards.
By the looks of it.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't mean the guards. The guards, they're just a little bit dense. I mean the two people we came with. Yes.
The guards who were pretending to be the merchants.
The merchants.
Who were two guards hired by the merchants guild.
They were guards, were they?
They were guards hired by merchants, and they pretended to be merchants.
That's right. Sorry, I missed the reveal.
I mean, Hasra, they're just guards. They obviously haven't got too many pennies to rub together for intelligence, but.
No, sorry, I agree. They were pretending. That explains so much. Hengist. And so I'm not used to your city wiles and ways.
Bartleby and Hengist, could you make a perception check for me, please?
I failed.
Bartleby, open your eyes. Come on, man.
Busy thinking about dire wolves, which is what I think is the real situation.
Just out of interest in Wills, Hasra isn't sitting close to the fire. He's a little bit further away.
Yeah, move him to where
Oh,
Here,
sorry.
please.
He's
It's
like
just
3 miles that way.
2 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is covered itself
Up a
in
tree.
water. I'm actually in the caravan with Zach. So, what do you think about?
Yeah, no, the twins are they seem weird, but you know, be fair, everyone seems weird to me. Let's just do what we're asked to do. We'll help the twins up to the point they need help, and then we'll go the rest of the way to Airwood. Hopefully nothing crazy will happen, but I almost guarantee with our luck something will.
Well, yeah, it's a crazy world. Anything can happen, and frequently does happen.
Longshanks, are
Yeah.
you on Discord?
I will be now.
Yeah, because I've just sent you a message.
I thought you were typing.
Charlie
I'd
is going to
wait.
suddenly point into the darkness and say, "Hey, you guys see that?"
Yes, I did. Bartleby, the same eyes that were following us the other night.
I believe that's what I. The wounds they seem like they could be from an evil monster. Bartleby's fumbling with like his club to try and get into a defensive stance as if something's gonna come out. We got to be prepared for whatever can do this kind of carnage, can fight off people with weapons.
Perhaps we should double up on the watches from now on at night time.
Hasra, make a perception roll for me, please.
Certainly.
Yeah, and as you sort of like turn your eyes or shield your eyes from the fire to one side, and as you gaze over in this direction, lo and
Sorry,
behold,
which direction, sorry? I missed the ping.
over
Oh, yes.
over in that, but further away, you can see in the darkness what appears to be 2 yellow glowing eyes, almost like reflecting the light of the fire back. And every now and again you see them, and then they disappear and then appear, sort of like first time you see them here direction, and then you see it here, and then here. Just roll your nature. I think you have law nature.
I did law nature, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's an easy task to see them. They're quite low down. You think it's something akin to a wolf, or it could be the hyenas again. It's that sort of like
Right.
height
Profiles.
above the ground. Yeah.
I will. There's something over there. I just saw yellow eyes staring at me and blinking and moving around. Just over there. So be wary. Keep your sword ready.
All right. Are we camping tonight, or are we gonna head off tonight?
Well, you're currently camping here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should.
Have someone keep watch. We have to sleep no matter what. We'll just take our turns like we usually do. 2 hours each. Should be fine. I'll take the first watch.
I will go for the midnight watch, which I think is number 2.
I think Hengist should take the last watch, and that way he gets the most sleep. It's unbroken sleep. And I will take the one in between.
Thank you, Hasra. That's very kind.
No, I'm not up to my full fitness, Hengist, and you, my friend, are a mountain. So you will be fine. We need you.
Could you all roll initiatives, please?
No, we can't because we are resting.
Yeah.
I'm taking a nap, bro.
No, don't say that. You'll make us do surprise rolls next.
Yes, do that.
8 hours.
I can't select my token.
Okay, no worries.
Hold on.
I went you.
I thought you might want me to do that when I roll initiative.
I'll do it.
Oh yes, get in, Hengist.
Nicely done.
Damn it.
There we go.
There you go,
So
Bartleby.
15,
And
15.
sweeping the bottom of the barrel. Oh,
Whoa!
my initiative is a 9, which means Hasra beats me.
Is yours a 9 as well, Hasra, or lower? You're muted.
Unmute.
Hasra should be.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
It's
can hear
11,
you
isn't
now.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, I thought Hasra was on 11,
Yeah, Hasra should be an 11 initiative
and
bonus.
I'm a 9.
Yeah, so around that way, then Hengist, then thing. So let me just roll mine. D10. Here we go.
I think Hasra's got an issue there.
No sound in
Can you
Zoom.
hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I can't
I hear you. Yeah.
Take your headphones out and plug them
I
back
can
in.
see you, Kirk. Can you hear me?
I get a 4. Oops, let me just do this, spell this right. I'm on a 19. Bartleby, what's your initiative bonus?
19. And my bonus is a 9. I mean,
9. And what's Hasra's?
11.
Okay. And you sort of like all sat there debating, you know, working out the watches. And you've all been sort of like keeping an eye out in the darkness. And then you suddenly notice that these eyes start coming towards you really fast. And Hasra, can you hear us all right, Hasra?
And now, thank you for that pearl of wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
My headphones do it all the time, so that's my go-to.
Well, it's weird because I could hear sounds from you rolling, but I
Right.
couldn't hear from Zoom.
Zoom
Yeah.
sometimes does like to mess around
Typical.
with people's settings.
So so you suddenly see these eyes, rather than being open and closed, they seem to be running towards you at some huge speed, and you all sort of like are preparing yourself for an attack as they get closer and closer. But the strangest thing is that they're down at sort of like wolf level or hyena level, and then but all of a sudden, as they're moving towards you, they slowly rise up, as if something or someone is started to almost like move into an upright position, and as it comes into the the firelight, which is on the edge of this location, you notice a rather hybrid form of a man and a wolf together, and
Heavy goblin.
it's coming. I love the way that he's coming out of the token. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he sort of like is coming, charging towards you. So his movement will come first, which will put him into combat with Bartleby and Hengist. And because I can move and attack now, due to the rules, me getting the rules wrong, I come.
That
I
only
like
works-
the old rules.
That only works for players.
Yeah.
it's an appendage.
He comes galloping through at top speed, and as he sort of like comes towards you both, he's up on his back legs, and with an almighty swipe of his hand, he tries to backhand you, Bartleby, and try to hit you and knock you out the way. Yeah, I've hit. What would you like to do?
I guess. Do I still have my club out?
Yeah,
from
yeah.
my
You're
okay.
all ready.
Well,
So you can either parry, or you can evade, and or you can just let me rip your throat out. Choices.
I think I'm gonna still try, but it's gonna be the throat ripping. I'm gonna go for a parry with my measly little club.
Go for it. Use your action point up.
Just looking at how low the skill is.
Yeah, and you.
Can I use a point of luck to reverse that? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a medium-sized weapon, and I'm hoping that does something.
The claw is huge.
I don't think it
Well, it's
is.
a fetch.
All right, come on.
His claw is medium, which means is your club medium as well.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Which means that I do half damage, isn't it?
I
I'm
don't actually know.
I have to look this
Won't
up.
parry anything.
I have to look this up.
Medium cancel it out.
Um.
No.
Oh yeah, so yeah, medium. Yeah, you block
Sorry.
all the damage. So he's sort of like, just to let you know, he was aiming for your head. If he had got a special, he would have choose location head, and the claw sort of like his claw flies out towards you, and just to let you know, you would have taken.
Don't spoil the
I would have been at -2 health
Oh.
on
Yeah.
my head.
As your sorry, that's the wrong one. That's his bite.
Yeah.
This is his claw. I'll go for
the dead.
So you sort of like quickly, sort of like he sort of like runs towards, and as he comes into cover like that, you sort of like put up your club, and it just sort of like hits, and you feel this almighty. The power on this thing is absolutely unbelievable, and you just sort of like think, what on earth is this? And you sort of like, you get those numb hands from the parry. Hasra, you're up.
Oh my goodness. Well, Hasra, seeing this monstrosity burst into the camp, is this a scale or?
Yeah, it's massive.
No, which I mean, yeah, brilliant stuff. So Hasra will.
You can chuck your spear, please.
No, I'm going to run into combat.
Yeah.
He's learning
Yeah.
that chucking first doesn't always work. I'll chuck it with him running away.
Cool. Yeah.
And he's going to take a swipe at this thing.
Yeah, cool. Go for it. Roll your to hit roll.
That
Yeah.
is
Are you sort of like, this is it your spear, this? Yeah?
It's my spear, yes.
Yeah.
It's a good thrust and going
And
in there.
you sort of like push it towards you, and this werewolf seems mad and intent, and it doesn't even try to parry at all, and you sort of like stick your spear into it. So I need special hit location damage.
I would like to do a press advantage. He says looking through the thing. Sorry, press advantage, yes. You got a location, which will be. Here's 5, which should be left leg, no doubt, because it's always bloody left leg. And damage will be. 4.
Yeah, 4 points of damage, and you sort of like thrust your spear into this beast's leg and pull it back out. And as you pull it back out, you notice that this beast has taken no damage from you, nothing. And as you pull your spear out, you notice that the wound just goes, and heals back up. And this werewolf seems to be unperturbed by it. Bartleby,
Well,
you're up.
As Hasra's pulled it out, he's still pressing advantage and stabbing it towards him and trying to keep him away.
Yeah, go for it, Bartleby.
As my arms are stinging, I'm like, I almost imagine with the parry, I got sent spinning a little bit.
Yeah.
So as I'm trying to get back in a stance, I'm going to pray to Amriel to protect me here so that we can keep this important. I'm out of luck, so.
I'm all out of luck, and you're all out of faith with Amriel.
See,
Not the
it's
time
all
to
about-
fumble. No.
No, but it's because you're trying to protect yourself. It's not all about you, Bartleby.
Yeah.
I can't heal if I'm dead.
So that's a fumble. So the spell doesn't go off, but you also lose a point from your devotion pool.
Correct.
Yeah, so it goes. Hengist, you're up.
Hengist is going to take a mighty swing two-handedly at this foul, furry creature, hoping to smite it in one blow.
Nice. Yeah,
Got standard.
that's fine.
Okay.
Special hit location damage.
Special will be bleed. Hit location will be
It's left arm.
left arm. And damage will be, make sure I'm clicking the right one.
Yeah, and you sort of like slice it across its left arm, and it seems just like your wound that you did, Hasra, and yours, Hengist. This beast doesn't seem to even react to anything, and your weapons just seem to slice it. It doesn't even flinch. It doesn't look worried or anything. There's no bleeding going on. It's as if your weapons are useless against it, and because your weapons are useless, then it looks like none of your specials are coming off at all. You're frantically stabbing this beast, and it's just sort of like almost like you're like little flies hitting it. It seems to be unperturbed by it all. We move on to you, Cyrus.
If only Cyrus hadn't used all his powers burning those wagons.
Nice.
The sun came back. All right. So I'm going to try something I haven't tried before. We kind of left off on a little bit of confusion when we talked about this privately in Will's. I'm going to try to use my spell Switch Body.
Okay.
I'm going in based on I don't know where we decided to be off, but the description kind of gives you like, it doesn't really give you what exactly happens to your old body when you switch a body. What it does say is to ensure his own body cannot suffer harm from the temporary occupant, for instance, by leaving it under the supervision of servants or magically binding himself into immobility. So it really is up to you as GM what you want the rules to be on this spell. I'm hoping that you're going to go for the latter and go for magically binding myself into immobility, such as like essentially putting myself in a coma-like state. That makes sense.
I think what's like anything, because you're switching bodies, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm switching bodies. So what I'm doing is switching my consciousness with the wolf creature. So his consciousness would come to my body.
Nice.
I would gain all the physical characteristics of his body. Yeah. But my hope is that I essentially imprison him into my consciousness, and he can't do anything with my body.
Okay. So you switch bodies. Unwilling target resist from a host caster body's own psyche in this, and their own psyche finds itself in the sorcerer's body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I find it in my. So if you switch consciousness, I find myself in your body. Both the sorcerer and the target retain their own skills, mental characteristics, but gain the strength, constitution, size, and dexterity of the other's body. which may require recalculation of some attributes. Yeah. Since the spell can be used upon a creature as well as a sapient being, the sorcerer takes provisions to ensure his own body cannot suffer harm from the temporary occupant. For instance, by leaving it under supervision of servants or magically binding himself to immobility. If the sorcerer's body is killed while switched with the victim, his conscience will also die when the spell ends. Okay, yeah, so we're just switching consciousness within a body. So you're going to be in it, but it's going to be in yours.
Yeah, but hopefully I'm able to essentially immobilize his consciousness within my body.
Well, you'll have to. So its body suffers harm from temporary occupant, for instance, by leaving it under supervisions or magically binding it himself to the immobility.
My listing of that was you'd have to immobilize yourself.
Yeah.
By using a spell or by having us hold you down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't know what spell would that to immobilize myself.
Yeah, so there would be a huge. There are spells that you could either do things like spirit resistance. You can put up shields like spirit shields. You could actually. I think there's one that actually allows you to.
Which I'm fine casting something beforehand. But there's no like it didn't even suggest
protective ward would be good.
Protective ward it's kind of like a a force field. But you add spells to that.
Okay.
So I don't know how you're gonna allow it is what my question is.
Imprison.
Yeah, there's imprison. What's that?
Creates an invisible barrier around a person or creature, blocking it from leaving the area.
That would be okay. I can go with that. Then.
Hold fast. Hold fast magically adheres an object to another surface. Yeah. The bonding is unbreakable by normal means. So that would effectively that would be really interesting to do, to tie somebody up and then hold fast. Didn't Gulliver? Yeah.
Gulliver had that.
Yeah.
He used it a few times.
Hold fast, very good.
Yeah. So
but you've got to think it's going to be your physical self of you glued to something rather than just your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those would make sense. I didn't even think of imprisonment or trying to use hold fast to essentially glue myself to a surface.
So essentially what's going to happen is that your consciousness is going to go to it, and its consciousness is going to go into yours. So you're not possessing it. You're literally switching bodies.
So
I know. Yeah.
So if it dies, you die.
If
that dies,
if my actual body dies, it dies.
But if it died, you would just magically transfer back to your. Yeah. Okay then. So you're going to cast this. So you need 1 turn to cast it. Plus, you'll need to do a point of shaping to get the power. Now, the caster can affect targets with power up to twice the intensity of the spell. So your intensity would be 7. So if this creature has a power, it would need to have if its power is 15, then it won't have an effect on it. It can only do up to 15. Okay. So how long normally? The duration will be your power in minutes. Okay, so that's like standard. So I would have thought your power's... How big is your power?
My power is 14.
14. So 14 minutes is fine. So you're going to have to use 1 turn just to cast it, but you're going to change it for range. So that's another turn. So it'll actually cost you 2 turns. So this will be the first turn pass that you start to cast the spell. Yeah.
It's going to do hold fast as well.
I don't think he has hold fast.
I don't have hold fast yet. No. Otherwise, I told you it would. But hold fast is a sorcerer's skill. That's not a.
It's a sorcerer's spell, but it's like
spell, yeah.
It's like you must have had switch body from creation.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So you would, if you wanted to learn hold fast, then you would have to, next downtime, you would have to do 5 experience rolls to learn the new spell. As long as hold fast is in the red robes list of spells. So
It might not be.
yeah. So on 16, you will be spell casting. Okay, because that'll be your first turn. So you'll be able to cast the spell at the end of this next turn. So this is turn combat round turn 2 now, and I now go use up another action point, and this Hengist is being swiped at you since you were the last.
Can he attack if I'm doing my?
Yes, he
Didn't
can,
work.
because he's
Oh.
he's
And he's
immune.
berserk, so he
And
wouldn't
it's
care anyway.
he's immune to your attack. So this is a bite coming to you, Hengist. Oh, so close. So close.
Hengist will attempt to parry that.
Yeah, cool. Go for it.
I've got a 50 on a standard.
Yeah. So he sort of like brings his bite down towards you, and you manage to slap it away with your sword. Just to let you know, the damage you would have taken would have been 13 points damage. So yeah, and it's sort of like you managed to slap it around at the last minute out the way. Hasra, you're up. I can't
Has
hear you.
muted me.
No, sorry, I was reading at the same time. Yep, Hasra will take a.
Sorry, Bunny Boxes has said the horror on Hasra's face.
Sorry. Hasra will take a slice. That's a 61 out of 107.
Yeah. Special hit location damage.
Right, sorry. Yeah, I want to use trick opponent, but I can't see how thrusting is. Well, trick opponent is like a grappling.
No, if you're using it as special, you're trying to sort of like
Yeah.
hit his legs, but
In which case, yes, I want to try trick opponent.
he's immune to your weapon in any case. So you sort of like hit him, try to trip him with it, but he's immune to.
I don't know
your
he's
weapon.
immune. I'm
Yeah.
just going to stab him.
So-
That's how I work. I'm going to try and trip him.
Yeah.
It's not a case of immune. I'm going to trip him.
Yeah. So
Do you want to roll location?
yeah, hit location, location and damage.
14, which will be right arm, as I try to thrust my spear and try and throw him
Nice.
over his back. Yeah, and damage will be 7.
Yeah, and you sort of like hit him or try to attack, and the weapon seems to have no effect on him at all. If anything, he almost like he doesn't even acknowledge. Oh, sorry, it doesn't actually acknowledge the weapon at all. It's almost as if he can't see it or he's not bothered about it at all. And Bartleby, you're up 19.
I parried, then I tried to do a miracle, so I have no more action points.
Oh, Hengist, you're
It's
up.
fine.
Hengist is still going to be attacking this thing.
Yeah, nice.
He's not much else that he would do at this point. So he will use he's been fighting two-handed to continue fighting two-handed and hopefully take a big swing. Got a standard.
Yeah, you swipe it with your sword. Just do hit location and damage.
Hit location.
Oh, you slice it across his abdomen. Nice.
And damage better be better than last time.
Oh,
11 points of damage.
Yeah, and you sort of like go to one side and slice it across his abdomen, and you see the skin open up, the fur open up as you slice across, as if you're almost like unzipping a zip, you know. And as you come out the other side, expecting him to bend over and almost like crumble to the ground, you start chong like that, and as you look back, the wolf's skin just zippers close like before, and it looks like it's taken no damage at all. Cyrus, you're up.
All right. Here's the. Can I make a free action before I cast?
You can have one free action per round. So you still got your. But remember, it's literally like 3 words. It's not, I'm going to do this, be nice to me or something. It's literally 3 words.
I'm going to give you a few paragraphs.
The money's in the
What
closet.
I'm going to do really quick.
Behind the 3rd drawer.
I'm just yelling, I'm switching minds. MIDS.
Okay. Roll your invocation first.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, and so you switch minds with this beast, and you sort of like send out your consciousness across through Hengist, and in a sense force it into this beast, expelling its own consciousness. And as you push it out, it gets a willpower check, by the way. Let me just check its willpower for you. Actually, I can just roll it from the character sheet, can't I? So it rolls. Yeah, it fails its roll, and as you sort of like push into the body, you expel the consciousness of this beast into your own body, where you stand, and you suddenly are. You suddenly find that you are almost like super powered. You now have a size of 19. You have a constitution of 14. You have a size of 20. And you have a dexterity of 16. As you sort of like blend into its body. And yeah, and we go into combat turn 3 for anybody who's got action points left.
Do I have an action point left? I don't know. I'm assuming I do.
Yes, the wolf does. You have an action point if you would like to do something.
But does what do you call it? Does the initiative stay this where it was?
Yeah. So you're now, you have it on 19. You're the first to go.
I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to jump over Hengist here to right next to where my actual body is. Okay
then. So you're probably trying to get past him in some way. So he will. The beast will roll if it's athletics, which I might as well do because I've got all the adjusted skills. Yeah, and you sort of like push past Hengist and sort of like fit into that on 19. Hasra, you now see the beast has sort of like jumped or pushed its way round Hengist and is going for Cyrus now.
Yep, free action. No! and I will run and I will take a stab at this thing.
Yeah.
Again, in the back.
Go for it.
It's not a heroic way, but he's going to do it. Yes. And this time I'm going to impale because Hasra's noticed every time he stabs it, it closes up, so it'll close up with a spear.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah. So impale, you want a location, which is going to be that. Number 4, left leg by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, always left leg. Damage will be 5. Oh no, impale. I get 2, don't I?
Yeah, highest one.
Yeah, 5.
5 points damage. Yeah, you thrust your spear into the back, and you sort of like stick it in, and it's sort of like it's completely in there, Bartleby won't have any. Hengist, do you have any?
Nope.
And Cyrus, do you have any as your character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be on. Yeah, he would have an extra one.
Yeah.
Thing right now.
So you sort of like jump over the bit Hengist, and are you engaging in combat with Cyrus?
My plan is to essentially grapple him down without like really harming Cyrus.
So yeah,
Hopefully, if the best case scenario would be literally just to lift him up into the air and just hold him, and then maybe I can convince everyone else to maybe tie my old body up.
yeah, it's probably not a good idea to say things like that out loud, because now the players are going to think, "Oh, you need us to tie up Cyrus's body."
No,
but
no, we won't, because
how
I don't do that.
are you in combat with Cyrus or not?
I'm not looking to hurt Cyrus. I'm looking to immobilize him.
Okay. Let's look at it this way. So when it comes round to your next turn, next action as the wolf, are you going to move into combat and hit him, or will you consider yourself that you're already in combat, so you just hit? The only reason I'm
already like, I'm not gonna like slash. I'm going to
it does
in this
it.
case brawn.
The reason I'm asking is I need to know as Cyrus whether or not I'm in combat with you. Because say for example you said no, then I know that I have to move in order to hit you. But if I know that I'm out of if I'm in combat with you, then I can just hit you. That's what I need to know. I'm not saying when I say combat. When I say combat, I'm not referring to how much damage you're going to do or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's whether or not we're both in combat or not.
I'm in combat.
Cool. Okay then. So you notice in front of you that although you're feeling very, very powerful and really, really fantastic, you know, this person that's now inhabiting your body is somewhat feeble, but you can see that through the eyes of this beast there's definitely a look of not fear at all, but some kind of he doesn't, Bunny Box. Because his body's in there, he doesn't feel the attacks, only the body that he's in. And there's this look of fear. Well, no, not fear, of almost like this feeling that he's suddenly weak and is somewhat less powerful. Okay,
yeah.
And he is going to try to leave combat.
Okay.
Now, in order to do this, we have to, I think it is, I think it's evade rolls, if I'm right. Like, it's a bit like disengaging, but in this game, I think we both roll. Requires the opponents to oppose roll of the evade skills. So you need to, if you roll, you just roll Cyrus's invade skill, and I will roll the wolf's
evade. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm rolling right now. Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
So yeah.
Front door. You'd never have made that if it was you.
So 20 hates me today.
Yeah, and both of you make the roll, but the wolf actually has the higher roll, so it actually succeeds. So Cyrus sort of like takes a step backwards, and the wolf continues to sort of like move towards it. And that seems to be a good opportunity to leave it until next time. So when we come back to this, it will be round 2, combat round 1. Okay, and so it'll be Cyrus at the wolf to go first. Okay, and then the normal one, and then I will play Cyrus with the 16 at the end. Okay then, so thank you very much for coming along and participating in or watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have a lot of fun in this switch body state at the moment, and see what's actually going to happen. But we'll wait for that next time. And yeah, if you've missed any of tonight's session, then it will be available on YouTube to go back and watch it, as will all the past sessions that we had. This is adventure number 25 that we're on to, and you can actually go back on YouTube and see the first ever session that we ever did, and then follow the characters through if you've got a few months to watch them all. Yeah, but also we remember that on YouTube are all the rules videos, so if you're interested with any of the rules, then please do go along and have a look at those. And if you're interested in knowing more about the game, then you can find a free version of the game called Mythras Imperative. It's the same rules but a little bit reduced, and that is totally and utterly free for download from, if you just Google it, you'll find it all from the Design Mechanism web page. So yeah, if you're interested, then do go along and see that. Just to let you know that we're using, because I get asked all the time, so I'm putting it into the video now, we're actually using Zoom for the video and the sound, and we use Roll20 as our virtual platform throughout. And the character sheets are actually in Roll20. There's actually somebody who does it for the whole of the Mythras gang, so that's where it is. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Lots to look at and to think about next week, especially about something that is, I do think the party is very paranoid at the moment. And I think I've made them like that. They don't.
He's going to find out where he can find a silver longsword.
Who said that?
But we will see. Yeah, so we'll see next time. So please do come along and support us. We really appreciate your help. Yeah, stay safe and stay healthy. I will be streaming tomorrow morning at 10:30 with Black Desert Online, followed at 2 o'clock by doing some more of the new DLC and downloadable content for ESO as it goes out. Drops will be on, so do come along and gain some crates if you're watching us. Until then, look after yourself, stay healthy, and we will see you all sometime next week, next Saturday, same time, same place, for some more Mythras. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved.